On just 13 days until the NFL draft. This year, 16 prospects will be in attendance in Pittsburgh. Waiting for that call, for that magical moment. Plenty of names here on this board to get excited about, and certain players that we are keeping an eye on. Let's start with you, Kevin Clark.
Sonny Styles, 6'5" linebacker, did not miss a tackle during the regular season, and the Big Ten championship game has some of the best tape on earth. When he went to the combine to do his testing, his numbers were more in line with Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson than any other linebacker. That's the type of athlete that we're talking about. I think he's going to end up being the best player in this draft. He's an unbelievable athlete. Give me him in the top 5.
Excited to see Francis Mauigoa and where he lines up, because we're going to find out a lot on draft day. Not only the city he's playing, maybe the position he plays at the pro level. A right tackle, vast majority of his time at Miami. But there are teams who see him potentially as a guard. A lot of teams see him as a right tackle. Might even see teams see him as a future left tackle. So where he goes and what those teams have at tackle and guard might determine where he's playing week 1 in the NFL.
Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love is one of the most interesting and perhaps most talented players in the entire draft. Maybe even the most talented player. But he also plays a position that is not seen as valuable or is more context dependent. So where he goes in the draft, to me, is a fascinating question. If it was based on talent alone, undeniably it would go top 3. But it's not. And it sometimes is hard to figure out what the best destination is for Jeremiyah Love. I'm excited to talk about that today.
I am also very excited to talk about that today. Anna Storm with you alongside the Brain Trust here. We have Bill, we have Mina, we have Kevin. We are getting smarter today, and we also, all of us, we love love. It is hard to argue who has been the most valuable offensive player in college over the last 2 seasons, and it is indeed the guy that Mina was talking about, Notre Dame's Jeremiyah Love, top 2 in FBS in scrimmage yards and touchdowns. He broke Jerome Bettis' touchdown record, which had stood since 1991. He's been so good, he's gotten the attention of one Saquon Barkley.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan. I think he's a heck of a player. I think has a great chance of going very high in the draft. But whoever gets that guy, again, a guy who is versatile, like can do it all back. He can block, he can run in between tackles, outside tackles, he can catch the ball. 2 years ago in the playoffs against Penn State, he had a run like in the goal line, and just I don't know how he got into the end zone, and he found a way to get in the end zone. And from there, I knew he was going to be a great back, and super excited for him and wish him nothing but the best.
So cool to hear Saquon say that, Bill. Saquon, the last running back drafted in the top 5. Which team do you think? Because Mina said, you know, it is fascinating.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we are talking about the NFL Draft, which is just 13 days away. The analysts on NFL Live are breaking down the top prospects, the best fits, and the biggest storylines. The Falcons picked up Bijan Robinson's 5th-year option. The Packers traded Dontavian Wicks to the Eagles. And the Giants might be targeting Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love. Let me break it all down for you. First, the top of the draft. The consensus is that Fernando Mendoza will go number 1 overall. But the most fascinating prospect might be Notre Dame running back Jeremiyah Love. The analysts are saying he is one of the most talented players in the entire draft. Maybe even the most talented player. But he plays a position that is not seen as valuable. If it was based on talent alone, he would go top 3. But it is not. And it is hard to figure out what the best destination is for him. Saquon Barkley, the last running back drafted in the top 5, is a big fan. He said, "I am a really big fan. I think he is a heck of a player. I think he has a great chance of going very high in the draft. Whoever gets that guy is getting a guy who is versatile, a can-do-it-all back. He can block. He can run in between tackles, outside tackles. He can catch the ball." That is high praise from one of the best running backs of his generation. So, where should Jeremiyah Love go? Bill Banwell says Washington. The Commanders already have the infrastructure for a back. To succeed, they have an established, very solid offensive line led by Laramie Tunsil. They have Jaden Daniels, a mobile quarterback. And when you have a mobile quarterback, that changes the numbers for you up front. Backside defensive ends and linebackers have eyes on the quarterback. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry both improved their efficiency dramatically when they got with mobile quarterbacks. Saquon with Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson. So, getting Love in an offense with a quarterback who is a threat to run could make his life easier in year one. Kevin Clark likes the Jahmyr Gibbs model. Playing behind a great offensive line, explosive runs, feeding into a contender. He says that is his fit for Love more than a top 5 team that is still building and would not have the line to support him. He says the Commanders make the most sense given that their offensive line is in decent shape and they have Terry McLaurin. But he also says it would be hard to turn down Carnell Tate if he is available to them. Mina Kimes agrees with Bill. She says the Washington Commanders make the most sense. She points out that Love had the 5th most missed tackles in the last 2 seasons. That is elite. And she loves the idea of him going to a team that can maximize his talents. Now, let me talk about the wide receiver class. Matt Miller has his top 5. Mekhi Lemon from USC leads the list. Then Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Then Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. Then Jordan Ty. Son. Then Keon Coleman. Kevin Clark says he has Carnell Tate number 1. He says, "You do not go broke in this industry by taking an Ohio State receiver. They have been reliable for almost a decade." He does not think Tate is at the level of Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Chris Olave, but he is the best route runner. He will work back to the ball. He will get open. He will be a quarterback's best friend in week 1. He has Keon Coleman number 3, higher than most people. He says Coleman is a forced missed tackle machine and a yards after catch demon. Mina Kimes says she has the same top 3 as Kevin. She says Mekhi Lemon, if he lands in the right offense, is going to catch 1,000,000 passes. He is a high-volume target with vice-grip hands. His floor is very high. But for Keon Coleman, the ceiling is actually a bit higher. Mekhi Lemon runs through people after the catch. Keon Coleman is explosive and has that ability, but he does have some drops issues that he needs to clean up. Bill Barnwell says there is a sort of top 2 for him. He has Tate and Tyson, and then everybody else below them. He says what makes Tyson so fascinating is how teams are defending offenses right now in the NFL. People are playing a lot of too high, taking away the deep ball. They want to attack intermediately on the offensive side of the ball. In that intermediate range, 10 to 19 yards, Jordan Tyson was 3rd in the nation in yards per route run over the past 2 seasons. He is a game C. Hanger in the exact spot teams are trying to exploit week after week. The injuries are a concern, but when he is on the field, he is special. Now, let me talk about the real news. The Falcons picked up Bijan Robinson's 5th-year option. No surprise there. He is a stud. The Packers traded Dontavian Wicks to the Eagles for a 5th-round pick this year and a 6th-round pick next year. Wicks is signing a 1-year, $12.5 million extension with the Eagles. Mina Kimes says this is very Eagles-why, taking a player who has at times flashed some high highs. There have been games where Wicks has looked like a legit threat downfield, making plays with the ball in his hands. And then there have been games where he has disappeared. There have been drops. But Philadelphia needed a wide receiver 3, and this gives them an option at very low cost. Kevin Clark says it is a logical move. The Packers have a crowded receiver room. Wicks was one of those guys who got demoted from number 2 to number 3. The Eagles are a traits-based team when it comes to these sort of flyers. Wicks has traits. Bill Barnwell points out that the Eagles have been focusing on defense in the first round of recent drafts. Their last 5 first-round picks have been on defense since 2022. But he says it might be time to switch to the offensive side of the ball because they have collected so much talent on rookie deals on defense. Jalen Carter, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. Those guys are about to become eligible for new deals. So, maybe shift some of those rookie contracts to the offensive side of the ball instead. The Browns have a habit of not taking first-round wide receivers. Over the last 30 years, they have drafted only 2, Braylon Edwards and Corey Coleman. That is tied for the fewest in the NFL. They have 2 first-round picks this year. Kevin Clark says they should target Carnell Tate. Ohio State elite receivers are the safest investment in the sport. He would also go with Caden Proctor later in the first round, the big tackle out of Alabama. He is a perfect Browns player. Flashes athletic traits. Has some red flags. But he thinks he is going to be a Brown. The Cowboys have gotten a lot out of their first-round picks in recent years. 10 of their first-round picks were selected to the Pro Bowl dating back to 2010, tied with the Lions for the most in the NFL. Mina Kimes says the good news is Dallas has a lot of needs on defense. The bad news is it is more likely than not that at least 5 or 6 of the top defensive players will be gone by pick 12. So, she thinks the Cowboys should consider trading up. Bill Barnwell says they could also go in the opposite direction and trade down, add a second-round pick back, and buy in bulk. Kevin Clark says Reuben Bain could slip to them at 12. Or Caleb Downs. He would change that defense immediately. So, here is my question to you in the comments. Where should Jeremiyah Love go in the draft? And who is the best wide receiver in T? His class? Let me know. I read every single comment. As always, like, subscribe, hit that bell. We are building something special here. I will see you in the next one.